We're built as the fastest game of foot. I love the running gun.
Keep your eyes on the ball. I hope to lead this 1997 Syracuse lacrosse team back to Memorial Day.
We don't have a lot of heroes in this game. The dynasty keeps on going.
Super Sports presents NCAA Lacrosse. Tonight it's the Cornell Big Red and the 5th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen. Syracuse at 5-2, Cornell coming in with a 2-6 record. And welcome to the Carrier Dome. I'm Beth Mullins along with Dale Drypolcher, and we're glad you could be with us for one of the most storied rivalries in college lacrosse. These two teams have faced off more than 80 times over the years, and Dale, at the heart of it all, two legendary coaches.
Two guys with two distinct personalities who've been around an awful long time. Richie Moran started at Cornell in 1969, Coach Simmons 1971 here at Syracuse. These guys have been around a long time. If there's one constant, it's they love to play each other, but even more importantly, they love to beat each other. And I think that's going to hold true tonight. It's going to be an interesting matchup, Beth.
And they both know, too, how important this game is to their players, regardless of the records that these two bring to the table. Coach Moran says this is a big game for the Big Red.
I firmly believe it's essential to play teams that have been in your rivalry albums for years and years. Hobart, for example, I think we have the longest running rivalry with Hobart than any team in the country has. So the Syracuse-Hobart rivalries are good ones, and they're very well played. And usually the players get a tremendous amount of satisfaction and mileage out of those games when you're competing against good people, and I know Syracuse feels the same way.
Now, on the other side for Syracuse, the Orangemen coming off perhaps their best game of the season, a win over Loyola. So Coach Simmons says they were not derailed by that loss to Brown.
Obviously, the loss took its toll. It didn't dilute their faith in one another, and they didn't hang their heads. Very often, you can get beat as we did, and then lose heart, and things slide. This was just another one of those wake-up calls where they said, we're better than this, and we've got to hang together.
So we've got Simmons and we've got Moran over on the sideline. Dale, let's take a closer look at a couple of guys out on the carpet tonight. Josh RUHLE for Syracuse and Ian Hafner for the Big Red.
Well, the strength of Cornell is at their midfield, and the leader there is Ian Hafner. He's the kind of guy who is right now the leading scorer, but is also one of their best defensive minis. He's got 17 goals and 6 assists. So if they're going to win tonight, you got to watch Hafner. He's going to be a guy who's going to have to really pull it out tonight for the Big Red. And now Josh RUHLE, 6'5", 230-pound defenseman from Syracuse, only a sophomore, getting better. And if Syracuse is going to make a good run for that national championship, the defense has to gel. He's one of the keys. Let's look for the close defense tonight to see if they can't have another good game as they did against Loyola. All
right, Syracuse has won the last 10 meetings in this storied rivalry. We'll face it off in just a moment. Welcome back to the Carrier Dome. NCAA Lacrosse getting set to get underway. Syracuse and Cornell. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Big Red. And leading the way on the attack, Michael VORIS, Pat Dutton, and Josh Morgan. The midfield, Ian Hafner, Brostic, and Andy CAHALANE. And the defense, Braceland, Mitterly, Keller, with Greg Zorella, the senior, in goal. He gets the nod over the freshman Yost, who we may see a little bit later on in the game. The head coach for the Big Red, in the middle there, Richie Moran, in his 29th season, 256 career wins. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Orangemen. On the attack, Rob Kavovit, Casey Powell, Doug Jackson. The midfield, Ryan Powell, Chris Clark, and Matt Kutaya. On the defensive side, Josh RUHLE, Chris McCartan, Sam Volin, and Jason GEBHARDT in the goal, the junior from West Genesee. The head coach, Hall of Famer Roy Simmons Jr., 27 years on the sideline, 273 and 92. His record on the hill for the Orange. As we've mentioned, this is quite a rivalry between these two, Cornell and Syracuse, with the Orangemen leading 50-29-1. They won last year 16-8 at Cornell. It was tied at 8. Syracuse scored the last 8 goals of the game, all in the 4th quarter, to win it. This is the 81st meeting. And the face-off man for Syracuse, Tim Burns. And Dale, look at the improvement in the recent games for the Orange.
I think that it's something that they work on all the time, and it's the kind of thing that you just have to keep working on it. It's hard work pays off, and it has been for Burns. Let's see what happens. First one still on the carpet.
He was working against Tanner Campbell, the face-off specialist for the Big Red. Ball still on the carpet and now scooped up by Syracuse. And this is Sam Volan looking for some space at midfield. And it will be the Orangemen with the first offensive chance of the game. Syracuse coming off a 13-6 win against Loyola, and what some experts and some pundits in the media were calling a flawless performance by the Orangemen. Cornell coming off their best offensive effort in an 18-16 loss to Harvard. And a crease violation called on Casey Powell, so Cornell will get it.
A little bit of an unforced error. Powell put his foot in the crease, and they're going to get the ball in back of the midfield line about 20 yards, and they will have to clear. Number 42 has the ball for CASILLO for Cornell, and he gives it back to the goalie, and we start to clear.
This is BRACELAND right around midfield. And Cornell now on the offensive end. 32 is Andy CAHALANE. And now maneuvering behind the net.
And talking to the Syracuse coaches, they all feel that Richie Moran might come up with a little bit of a gimmick. He always kind of an innovator in the game, a Hall of Fame kind of guy, and they are always looking for something. We'll see if anything develops. Right now, it looks just like two teams trying to feel each other out, trying to take the soft spot that maybe they've seen on a tape of a Syracuse game or a Cornell game and working at that point. But there's a jump right there. He's open.
Cornell making a move in front. The shot, the first goal of the game is scored by Andy CAHALANE. Cornell takes the 1-0 lead just over a minute and a half into this first quarter.
Well, he loses number 7, Ryan Cummings. See right, the brace on his leg, and he just takes it up and down, and just uncontested goal almost as CAHALANE just put a little dump shot on, and he was all by himself as he lost Cummings on his trip around the cage.
10th goal of the season for CAHALANE, the tri-captain, a senior from Duxbury, Mass. And the second face-off of the game goes to the Orange, and now Syracuse on the push. This is Abrams. The pass in front, Rob Kavovit ties it, and a flag flies following the goal. Looked like number 46, maybe, Balukas.
Or number 48, who's not on our list. But there you see the left-handed goal by Kavovit in the late shot right in the back. So they will get a minute penalty on that, unnecessary roughness. But Kavovit, it was just a fast break. And that's Pegatal, I believe, is who got the penalty. But it was a fast break off of the face-off, and that's the kind of thing that happens on a face-off. And they able to do a good job, and they will get the ball without having to face it off.
Well, it took Syracuse less than 15 seconds to answer. Kavovit with the goal, Powelll the penalty. And now Syracuse with the man-up situation. First chance for the Orange of the game. This is Cutaia. Ryan Powell out top. Brother Casey behind the goal.
Coming in, Syracuse shooting about 366 if you're a baseball fan on extra man shots. So that will be a shot, but not a goal. So Syracuse, if you'd like to get up around 40%, you're doing a good job. Syracuse at about 36% right now, with still about half this penalty left, Beth.
That last shot for Kavovit blocked by Zorella.
Zorella, left-handed goalie like Gebhardt, and we've seen a number of left-handed goalies this year. Oh, that pass intercepted nicely by the defenseman and the man-down defense. That was Gorman, snagged that shot.
So Cornell now will try and clear, and it looks like they will get out of the penalty situation without having given up the goal. They still have some time to burn here. Syracuse trying to double the ball.
And now the penalty's up, and they got somebody out of the box. Hafner, as a matter of fact, streaks out of the box for Cornell.
Dutton moving in front, checked away by GEBHARDT, and now the Orange have it on the fast break the other way. Ryan Powell on the run to Casey Powell, behind the back pass. Syracuse will settle out top with Cutaia. 1-1 our score, just over 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. And now Paul CARCATERRA will run the offense for Syracuse.
both teams trying to find a little bit of a groove here. Syracuse taking their time on this little half-court offense.
This is Ryan Powell trying to operate on Toussaint.
Oh, he's open.
Kutaya
Nice
wide
save.
open with a good save. The follow also. Zorella there to make the play. And Cornell backs up the play and will have the ball, and Syracuse has a man down on the carpet. Carcaterra getting up slowly.
Yeah, they're going to take an official time as he comes off the field. Some discussion as to it will be Cornell ball, and you're going to see Zorella, the left-hander, handle it.
Looked like on the follow-through, Dale, he may have been wide open for a shot to the ribs.
Yeah.
At any rate, Cornell will have possession.
Syracuse 3 shots off on that situation, did not come up with a goal. Right now they're going to put the ride on Cornell, try to force that long pass, which they do. Puts a lot of pressure on the defenseman, and a poor pass.
Intended for Brostek, picked off by Syracuse. Good ball movement by the Orange, and the goal. Finished off by Doug Jackson. Syracuse has the 2-1 lead.
All started on the ride and the long pass to Keller, 47, and then this is the result. Syracuse gets the ball off the poor pass behind the back. Another look from Kavovit, and Jackson just in the right spot. Watch the little left-handed shot and how quickly number 11 got rid of that ball. Jackson puts it in the hole, and Syracuse goes up 2-1. But as I said, 47 Keller from Cornell, poor pass, and Syracuse picked that off and made something out of a ground ball. Ball on the ground again.
Cornell will come away with it this time. This is Dutton. Trying to find some space now, circling back around in front. Tanner Campbell now has it out top.
They're spreading Syracuse out a little bit. You see the space between those red jerseys and the white jerseys gives you more room to operate, and you have to run a little bit more and keep track of your man if you're a defenseman. And you can see them looking over their shoulders, finding where's the guy behind me going, and they put one man behind the cage. That's Campbell all by himself, letting him operate. And of course, Syracuse playing him defensively, but if he gets free, he'll take a shot. Save.
Campbell spins in front. GEBHARDT was there defensively. And the Big Red will keep it. There you see Tanner Campbell had a big game against Harvard with 3 goals. Primarily used, though, for a face-off man, and he will come off as we take another look.
Let's see. Yeah, that looked like it happened so fast, but it looked like GEBHARDT got his stick on it. It went out, and that's a good save for GEBHARDT. And once again, they take the ball behind.
There you see the ground ball numbers. Syracuse with 6-2 for the Big Red.
Early, but a good statistic. It shows you Syracuse has been making good opportunities when they get the ground ball, either off the face-off or on an errant pass, they turned into a goal. So good job so far for Syracuse.
The Orange also leading in the shot department, 5-2. And of course on the scoreboard as well with the 2-1 lead here. 9.5 to go in the first. Cornell tries to work it in front, centering pass on the carpet, and scooped up by Brostek.
Little thing I just noticed, one of the defensemen, they slipped down and somebody slid over, picked it up perfectly. Everybody slipped to the next man, did a nice job of sliding first time, second time. So Syracuse defense on that particular play looked very good and very disciplined.
CAHALANE tries to work it in front, hits the side of the net. GEBHARDT with the long pass for Syracuse.
Alexander going to get it knocked out of his stick.
Matt still cradling with the right. And now we'll give it up to Rob Kavovit.
I think one of the things Syracuse noticed when they get the ball down to the attack to Kavovit and Cummings and Powell, those guys, the midfield kind of just lets them do their work. And I think he'd like to see a little bit more of an opportunity for the midfielders to step up, take some shots, good shots, and score, so they don't think it's just like an attack-oriented offense.
We're seeing the second midfield now working in there. CAIONE, Vanterpool, and Andy Sherritt's all out on the field now for Syracuse. This is Ira Vanterpool trying to work off the CAIONE pick on top, loses it. Cornell with a fast break opportunity. Dutton looking for some space, gets the shot off wide to the right, backed up by the Big Red. Cornell will keep it.
Fast break started on a ground ball as Vanterpool, 41, lost it out of his stick. Richie Moran has to like the fact that they hustled and got the ground ball, got a shot off. Turnovers 4-1. That's the one you don't like to see, but that happens a lot. Depends on what you do after you get that turnover, I guess.
Particularly with the style of play that Syracuse generally like to use, an up-tempo game. And now a whistle as the officials will check the goal for Syracuse.
Cage wasn't set in there correctly. GEBHARDT just adjusted. He might put on a little angle there.
That would be the home field advantage right there.
Yep.
Wilkinson has it behind the cage.
You can see on the monitor, they've been taking it behind and then looking for some cutters out up on top. And then if they don't, they'll just try to take a one-on-one from behind the cage.
Wilkinson being checked by Sheretz.
So 2 guys behind, 4 out on top.
Vanterpool doing a nice job right now of denying Hafner the ball.
Right, he is. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what he's doing. And now he's going to have to play defense, ball down.
Hafner able to scoop it up. Trying to work now on Vanterpool, gets it in front, flicks the pass intended for Josh Morgan. And the ball trickling towards the Syracuse sideline, but scooped up by Brian Morgan, the freshman from Homer, who was a high school teammate of Matt Kataya's. Cornell with another opportunity. Big Red making some changes. Andy CAHALANE is back on at midfield, and he has the ball right now on top.
Some teams last year used to take their attack men and bring them out up by the midfield and bring the long sticks way out up on top, because they normally go man-to-man with the attack men, and it's called an invert, and they would try to get them way out there with the big sticks, perhaps not being as quick, and then, you know, getting the ball back to midfield. I haven't seen it yet, but it's always a possibility, and Syracuse playing good body position defense right now.
I mean, Cornell showing a lot of patience, or waiting for the right opportunities. Morgan trying to work in front, has the ball knocked away. Scooped up by CAHALANE. He's taken down on the carpet. No flag.
That's RUHLE with it.
And Josh RUHLE comes away with it for the Orange. The pass upfield intended for Kavovit. And Kavovit slams into Zorella as the Big Red will get it.
Yeah. That was all for nothing, actually. Syracuse actually had saved a good shot on goal. Richie Moran a little upset. He said somebody should have gotten that ball, somebody should have taken the man. Don't let the goalie go down and do it. But it will be Cornell ball, and they will clear it. The left-handed goalie gets it right up to a midfielder.
And they are able to clear the midfield line. Syracuse 7 shots to 4 for Cornell. And the defense coming through for the Orange, as GEBHARDT now has it for Syracuse, able to spin away from the defender.
Long pass.
Doug Jackson waiting for some help to arrive.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a man down there, waiting for Kutai to come in from the substitution area. Now he's in.
Casey Powell able to work free from the defender in front. Shot goes high over the top. Jackson, and a big hit from Cornell as a flag flies on the play.
Let's see what the call is.
Jackson got leveled in the end zone area. Hard to see what number that was. It may have been Linehan.
Yeah, it was a little high, actually. He was up around the throat. So,
that was Braceland.
Yeah, well, Braceland braced him around the throat, and he's going to sit for a minute, I believe. Yep.
He'll have a little time to think about that illegal body check. So man-up situation for the Orange for the next minute.
Syracuse one other man-up opportunity, not able to convert.
There you see, 0 for 1 thus far in this first quarter. 5:15 to play. Syracuse leading Cornell 2-1. Kavovit looking to feed in front. Shot wide from Powell.
Good backup by Dougie Jackson.
Jackson was there to chase it down. Experience on the side of the Orangemen. A lot more juniors and seniors on the field for Syracuse. A lot of freshmen and sophomores getting time out there for Cornell. This is a young team.
Yes, it is. And we heard a lot about their goalie, Yost, coming in. He's played a lot. He's a freshman. We'll probably see him later. He's been player of the week in the Ivy League. Oh!
Tough angle, but Jackson finds a way to get it by Zorella for the 3rd Syracuse goal of the game.
That was still man up, so Syracuse now 1 for 2 in the man up situations. That's just a wrist shot and beat him stick side high, chest high. Watch it hit the net, watch it ripple, bingo. So Syracuse gets a man up goal, wipe out the penalty, and they take a 2-goal lead. And I've been impressed, 2 things so far. Syracuse being patient, taking what they can get, and also defensively, they have stripped the ball a number of times. Up until this point, this was not a takeaway defense, Beth. This was a defense that just played body position, and now they are really causing some turnovers from Cornell and doing some good things. So Syracuse, I think, defensively looking good so far.
Cornell able to win the face-off. And how much of that, Dale, is based on the game that GEBHARDT had against Loyola? By a lot of accounts, that was one of his best outings ever.
Well, you know, he's certainly capable of them. It was just a question of can you come back from a game that is, shall we say, not your best, kind of be euphemistic about it. And that's one of the things that they talked about. And as Coach Simmons said, these guys, they got a lot of heart. They came back. They're hustling on ground balls. They got there on that one. Syracuse will get this one, and they have been operating on all 8 right now. So kind of a zone ride here by Cornell. They let Syracuse bring it up.
And the Orangemen, bad pass from Sheritz and a flag down on the far side of the field.
That's going to be a 30-second penalty. Some discussion about who was offside.
I think there's also some discussion about that last goal. We just heard the public address announcer say it was Paul CARCATERRA.
All right.
But by all accounts on our replay, we had number 11, Doug Jackson.
Yes, we did. Well, you know what? We've talked about these, how the jerseys, they're darn nice looking, but the numbers are hard to see. And Carl Eilenberg, our PA announcer, kind of gives us credence there, as it is hard to see, but that's the guy, number 11, Doug Jackson, who hit the net.
And in fact, they just corrected it too down at the public scorers table. It is Doug Jackson, as we've got 4 minutes left now. 3-1 Syracuse here in the first. Another man-up situation. Syracuse 1 for 2 so far in the game.
So that means we were right.
Yes, it was. How about that?
I love it.
Doesn't happen every day.
Not every day, not every time.
Way out on top. Shot in the score.
Oh, that was CARCATERRA.
CARCATERRA
Give it to
cranks
Jackson.
that one low. And it's now a 4-1 lead.
CARCATERRA out on top, and he takes a one-hopper past Zorella, the left-hander, and another man up, 2 out of 3 now for Syracuse as they have taken, whoa, that was a blistering shot on the offside of the left-handed goalie, and CARCATERRA, you see his season 9-1, but that was a good one right there. Gives Syracuse a 3-goal lead, 3:43 left, quarter number 1.
All despite the fact that Cornell has controlled the face-offs. 3-1, the graphic we just saw. Now a timeout called by Richie Moran for the Big Red. Wants to talk about the deficit right now. 4-1, Syracuse on top. The last 2 goals, Jackson and CARCATERRA both in man-up situations. And Cornell in trouble early. This is a team that has not scored a lot of goals this year, Dale, so not a team that wants to find itself down early on in the game.
One of the things they wanted to do is coach from Syracuse said they thought if they got up on Syracuse by a couple of goals or something, scored early, they might really slow it down, go to a zone defense. But you're right, they have not been particularly good in the scoring department. Let's take a look. We got a sound cut from Coach Simmons about defense, and Coach Moran will talk to us about defense.
And I firmly believe that we can make some adjustments. The question is disguising some of those adjustments so that the opponent cannot come out and pick you apart. Syracuse has that potential. You know, we've watched them on film, we've seen them in person. You know, they're very good at finding the open man, and that's essential that we sort of cut off those lanes and prevent that opportunity.
One of the things that was done when in a couple games Syracuse has lost, but the little zone defense against Brown really stacked in, had a lot of sticks up and frustrated Syracuse. So unfortunately, Brown also had some scoring opportunities. If you can't score and you're running that zone defense, you slow things down, but if you're behind by 4 or 5 goals, it's hard to come back. But Coach Moran mentioned the slides, and that Syracuse always seems to find an open guy. They have here, but of course they've had 2 man-up goals, so that's a big help.
Campbell in red, Burns in white will face it off. And there you see Burns, 42% on the year, 2 of 4 tonight. flag down before Vanderpool can track it down for Syracuse.
That's going to be a slash, yeah.
Gorman, number 37, called for a slash, 1 minute, so not what the Big Red wanted to see.
You know, Burns is doing a nice job of controlling the draw, but what they're doing is they're crashing. You saw Gorman come in, hit him up top with the stick again, up high. Could have been a slash, could have been an illegal check. At any rate, he's down for a minute, but kind of forcing that when you start controlling the draw and those wings crash, sometimes you get the beneficiaries of a penalty, and that's what they got.
Syracuse actually now 2 for 3 in man-up situations tonight, including the last 2 opportunities they scored on with Jackson and Carcaterra. Kavovit feeding from behind, Jackson working in front, shot deflected away by Zorella. Way out on top, Carcaterra winds up, shot blocked by one of the defensemen out top.
Let's see, this will be an interesting call. Syracuse ball, no, Cornell ball. So Cornell, that ball was a shot, even though it went way out up by the midfield line, stayed a shot. Cornell did a great job there. Syracuse had scored by putting the ball out towards the top of the crease. They had jumped 2 guys. The ball bounced off some Cornell players, went out of bounds, but they were there on the shot.
Good hustle by DeLuca to track that one down.
Thank you, good job, yep.
Cornell right now hurting themselves with the penalties as they try and finish up this man-up situation for Syracuse. 3 penalties for 3 minutes, and now the Orange will push the other way.
Let's see, offsides. No, timeout. Okay. One little thing I would mention, I'm just going to say while I'm thinking of it, Josh Rule on that last play. Ball went down towards the Syracuse on an errant shot. He checked his man's stick, held his stick down so he couldn't get it. Ball went through to Gebhardt. Now, that's not something that is a stat, but the guy that we kind of featured at the beginning of the show, one of the little things you look for when you look at the tape, you say, now that's what Josh Rule did right on that play. Held the stick down, let the ball go all the way through so Gebhardt could get it. Syracuse got a possession out of an errant pass.
Let's take a look at the most recent poll that came out earlier this week, actually yesterday as a matter of fact, to see where the Orangemen and the Big Red stand. Cornell unranked right now, but Syracuse 5th in the latest poll. Princeton, of course, the only unbeaten left in Major Division I. Virginia, Duke, and Maryland still in front of Syracuse. And then Georgetown, Hopkins, Notre Dame, Loyola, and Hofstra rounding out the top 10. And this is a busy part of the schedule for Syracuse, as Coach Roy Simmons talked about the difficulties of getting ready for a couple of games in 4 days.
Game preparation is important. You have to be prepared to meet the enemy, and we have some scouting, we have some personnel matchups, we have a game plan to put it in place, and we only have 24 hours to do it.
Man up for the next 8 seconds. Carcaterra on top. Jackson, nice feed to Kavovit. Uncontested for the goal, and another man-up score for Syracuse. With 2:36 to play, it's now 5-1 Orange.
When you can hit 3 of 4 and you hit it this easily, Kutaya just passes him a little bit out. He has to reach back, but Kavovit gets it back and then flicks it on a quick stick by Zorella. There's the pass, maybe deflected just a little bit, but Kavovit, you get the ball in his stick, and good things oftentimes happen as he comes up with his second, Syracuse's 3rd man-up goal.
Kavovit has 2, Jackson has 2. Carcaterra the other goal for Syracuse, 5-1 with 2:30 to go in the first quarter. Andy CAHALANE scored first for Cornell, but since then it's been all Orange, and due to the penalties from Cornell, they have really hurt the Big Red. Syracuse has 3 man-up goals here in the first.
And then just came up Burns with a key face-off to keep the ball down in the Cornell end and give you another opportunity. It can get frustrating. It's kind of an interesting facet of this game, how you can control a game if you get the face-offs.
Vanderpool trying to feed to Carcaterra. It's on the carpet, scooped up by Zorella, and now Cornell will push across midfield. Big Red on the run. Dutton loses control. The ball comes out of his cross. Tough defense by Syracuse. Volin is there. Big Red cannot keep it in play, and Syracuse will get it. Good hustle there by McCartan. And Cornell looked a little discombobulated on that possession.
Well, the ball was on the carpet a lot, and there's a hit. That gives you a little bit about what lacrosse is all about. Eventually, Brostek lost the ball off his stick for Cornell. Syracuse is going to have to clear from down in their end, and they're going to use their goalie in the left-handed GEBHARDT. Takes it.
Syracuse 14-5 over Cornell in the shot department. That was, by the way, Casey Powell who took that hit, and he is now on the sideline as GEBHARDT way out of the goal.
You could say that.
Gets knocked down. The penalty, the whistle, though, rather, will go against Cornell. So GEBHARDT able to scoot back into his own cage.
You know, when a goalie comes out that far, when he goes across midfield, he becomes like a hit magnet. Like, everybody wants to hit him. The other coach wants to hit him. Everybody wants to hit him. And he got 3 guys, but somebody pushed him down, and Syracuse got the ball. But that's kind of unusual with GEBHARDT. He's not much of a traveler.
It's the informant trying to run his way through prison, and everybody trying to get after him.
Everybody knows who he is. He's got a big sign on him, right, with that big ugly stick. And
might as well be wearing neon.
That's right.
This is CAIONE. He'll fire high. Zorella was there as it goes over the top. Syracuse backs it up, though, with Matt Doyle. There you see the freshman from Yorktown, continuing a tradition of Yorktown players, including the 2 captains this year, CARCATERRA and Kavovit. CAIONE wheels, gets the shot off and scores from about 15 yards out. CAIONE makes it 6-1 Orange.
CAIONE in the past not getting a lot of velocity on these wrist shots, but he had a nice one before, and he did a nice job there. Perfect placement as he had the left-hander moving a little bit to his right. Zorella moving, and you see him moving right there. He made the wrong move. He moved right, and CAIONE put it on the stick side, but a nice bit of faking, and Syracuse up to a 6-1 lead.
Face off, Campbell. And scooped up by Matt Kitaya. So Syracuse with another opportunity with 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Quick ball movement, Doyle trying to use the pick in front, double teamed.
It's going to be triple teamed there. You got just away from it.
Kavovit looking to feed Jackson with the centering pass. Ball still down, and now finally scooped up by the Big Red, and we've got a whistle away from the ball.
Something against Syracuse.
And the Syracuse sideline still looking to the officials to find out what the call was.
It was, I was just going to say that they're not going to get an explanation. They're just going to play on call that had happened earlier is what the explanation is. Mr. Munzie lets us know as the ball on the carpet.
Bad clearing pass there from Zorella, still being knocked around, and Cornell able to come away with it. That's Dave Brostek, local product from Baldwinsville. Tried to scoot one by on the low side as time expires to end the first quarter. Syracuse with 3 man-up goals, 2 from Kavovit, 2 from Jackson in the quarter. 6-1 Orange at the end of the first. We'll be back to the Carrier Dome for the second quarter right after this.
He split some time with another goalie, a backup goalie, so I think probably Yost to start, the freshman. He's been pretty consistent. He's been averaging about 15 saves a game. And I think they have a lot of faith in him. There's a great future for him.
Well, the freshman Yost did not start the first quarter, but he will be starting the second quarter for the Big Red as Rich Yost has come on to replace Greg Zorella between the pipes for Cornell. Just a freshman from Westminster, Maryland, and not a big guy at 5'9", 140.
Lovely Westminster, Maryland. My sister lives there. I have been there. Beautiful section of Western Maryland, right near Western Maryland College, and he is a freshman at Cornell and in the unenviable position of being put in with a 5-goal deficit against one of the best teams in the country. And Yost will get some experience. But right now he doesn't have to worry about it as Syracuse illegal procedure on the face-off, and ball goes Cornell, Beth.
He'll have a chance to catch his breath and watch at the other end as the Big Red go on the offensive. Andy CAHALANE, the only goal in that first quarter for Cornell, so they will try and work both he and Ian Hafner into the offense. But really, though, Dale, Cornell just didn't have possession of the ball an awful lot in that first quarter. Didn't get a chance to get those two off track.
Yeah, and they, as you mentioned before, they made some penalties and a couple of errant passes. One of them turned into a goal, and Syracuse just was able to dominate the time of possession. By the way, Burns in there playing a little defense right there, helping out his goalie.
Good stop by GEBHARDT. He continues to look strong in goal for Syracuse. And now Jason will work out of the goal with it.
Don't go too far, Jason. You got a bad knee.
Looking to Casey Powell, who has come back into the Syracuse lineup after taking a wicked hit in that first quarter.
So 30-second technical foul. Cornell offsides, another one of those penalties. That's the thing that kills you. I'm sure Richie MORAN upset about that.
Syracuse has been solid in the man-up situation so far tonight. 3 for 4, including a couple of goals for Rob Kavovit, and we should say congratulations to Rob. He is now tied for 10th place all-time in goals scored at Syracuse with a fellow by the name of John Zilberti. Pretty good company.
Yeah, real good company. John Zilberti's still in the area on occasion, coaches at, out in Ohio, I believe. So you're right, good company.
Kavovit now with 109 goals in his career. Looking to get the assist, CARCATERRA, his shot blocked out front. Good stick by Kataya. And Volin able to scoop it up. Ground ball there for Syracuse. Now CARCATERRA has it. Penalty is over.
Yep, they're even.
Back to even strength, Casey Powell. And the pass goes right into the stick of Yost. And now the Big Red will try and clear it out. Powell right after Toussaint, but Chris Toussaint now has it for Cornell. This is Morgan. Here you see the clear numbers. Syracuse 8 for 10, Cornell 8 for 11 on the night. And the Big Red will move some people in and out of the lineup. As Hafner has it behind the cage, being checked by Ryan Powell.
Really spreading things way out there. Hafner way out, trying to get a one-on-one jump, see if he gets a slide.
Checked away by Powell, moves in front. And now Cornell will regroup with Dave Brostek.
You know, lots of times people might say, gee, what are they doing? They're down by 5 goals. It goes in such spurts, you can get a face-off and get a couple of goals quickly. So there's no need to, I don't think, change their basic offense, which is take our time, run our offense. They've been spreading Syracuse out. They're running a guy behind, usually 1, sometimes 2 behind. Now it's 1 behind.
This is Brostek, one of a handful of local players returning home for tonight's game. It's from Baker High. And now Andy CAHALANE. Casey Powell goes down. CAHALANE gets the shot off. The bouncer goes wide right. Nothing but red jerseys backing that one up.
Good call. It was all red. Cornell will trigger in. And this is a good test, not only for the patience of the offense, but the patience of the defense. You just have to stay on the guy all the time. It's that 1 second you relax, he gets a stick open, and he gets a shot. So the longer they're out there, I think it puts a little more pressure on the defense. And way out on top.
This is Hafner trying to juke his way around Ryan Powell. Pass and intercepted. Well read, I believe it's CARCATERRA who has it heading the other way. Check that, Casey Powell. Powell weaving through the defense. Switches to that left hand, the pass behind the back, Jackson. Kavovit goes low, and Syracuse will keep it.
I'll betcha that last year Yost didn't see a lot of that when he was in high school. He followed it really well, though. Watch him go. Watch behind the back. He turns. Where's it coming next? Low shot. Ooh, down, past me. Good job. Nice little sequence there, showing you what you have to do as a goalie and against Syracuse. Now quickly, the ball can change directions.
Powell now on the sideline talking with Coach Desko as illegal procedure, the call against Syracuse, as we see Cornell with 6 giveaways, Syracuse with 5 tonight. We've got 11:22 to go in the first half. 6-1 Syracuse, including 3 man-up goals. The penalties hurting Cornell here in the first half. They have settled down, though, here in the second quarter.
There's that long pass that they forced the last time. and caused a turnover, and they got another one.
Ryan Cummings with the interception. Quickly, Syracuse shifts into offense. And Cummings now will settle things down.
He's more of a D guy. Let's see what he does. He may give it up here. Or what the heck? Take a shot? No, that's going to be a pass.
Yep, pass to Jackson, an errant one. And Cornell will get it.
The good thing about that for Cummings is now he doesn't have to come out, because by throwing that, he stays in and plays defense.
Substitutions on both sides now.
Long clear now for Cornell. Syracuse has been riding pretty effectively. That ride they had just a minute ago forced a turnover. Let's see what happens now. Going to force the long pass to the wing defenseman. Nope. Go to the middle.
Cornell now 9 for 13 and clears. Hafner. And he will get it back out on top of CAHALANE. CAHALANE, one of the few seniors on this team. In fact, they've just got 2 in the starting lineup, along with defenseman Chris BRACELAND.
Run a little 1-4, guys, way out until you can see to the left there, but a very deliberate pace as the cutters break from position of 4 guys out on top of the crease. Sometimes they'll move down a little closer, but Syracuse has to stay with each cutter. And Syracuse generally employs a man-to-man defense, so when the see the cut right there, you have to cut with them. And again, the key to that is to lull a defenseman to sleep, get a pass off, or get a step on somebody and force the action, force a double team. Now Syracuse slides back after they double team. So the pace is slow and deliberate, but the action's intense if you're down there playing defense. Good look at Josh RUHLE. Going to get a ward there on number 34 for Cornell. Morgan, absolutely. Josh RUHLE picking a good night to have a good night, because we talked about him at the top of the show, and he forced a little ward there as the big defenseman putting the lumber.
And as you mentioned, good concentration shown there by the Syracuse defense to keep their heads in the game and come up with the turnover. Andy Sheritz to Chris Clark, the transfer from Michigan State. Winding up is Doyle off the crossbar. All the way back out to midfield, and the push right at the midfield line, and Syracuse whistled for offsides.
Good call. McCartan was offsides. If his hands had just been down there, he wouldn't have been offsides, because your hands are part of the stick. But when his thighs hit, he was offsides.
Illegal procedure on the Big Red. Andy CAHALANE whistled for the infraction, so Cornell gives it right back. 6-1 Syracuse. That last shot from Doyle off the crossbar, otherwise it would have been 7-1. And now Syracuse back on the attack.
Yost has seen a couple of big time shots on him, and he hasn't had to get a stick on it yet, but the freshman from Westminster, Maryland, playing well.
This is Clark from Orchard Park, New York. Doug Jackson. And now he'll swing it around behind. It's being checked by Chris BRACELAND. Feet in front, shot low.
Save.
Yost is there with the save.
Good outlet. Well, it was a good outlet. It was a good look, but it was an errant pass. Well, this will be interesting.
GEBHARDT way out to scoop that one up. Runs into trouble. Morgan able to take it away, and then the pass goes to the orange. Sheritz was there. That could have been costly right there for Syracuse, but they're able to work their way out of it. Now Glisker. Kavovit behind the cage.
Not even setting a pick back there. They're just kind of running back and then trying to set somebody out up on top, and that's Clark again.
Clark.
Jump him, I should say.
Goes left. Kavovit swings it in front. Glisker hit just as he got the shot away.
It's a push, no possession. Syracuse get. Glisker's a football player, a linebacker. He used to ditching it out. Boy, he got it from the back there. I think that was DeLuca 4. Put him down.
Glisker's another guy who's tough to be inconspicuous out there at 6'4" and 210.
Yeah.
Doyle didn't get everything behind that shot, and Yost now has it for Cornell. Big Red will try and clear.
Long pass.
And they get it across midfield. CASILLO gets it to Hafner. 6:50 to go. Hafner runs into some trouble. Down on the carpet, and the flag against Syracuse.
Abrams, 43.
Yep.
And that's going to be a slash. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, got him on. Oh,
right on the knee.
That's why he fell. I thought he tripped. Watch what Abrams does. That's just a shot on the leg.
Right on the kneecap. Got him.
And that hurts.
Hafner slow getting up. The trainer now out there to take a closer look as Marshall Abrams will sit for a 1-minute slashing penalty against Syracuse.
Abrams, a freshman out of Lafayette High School, and had been playing real well early and then broke, I believe, a thumb, and he was down for a while, but he has now put down Hafner, the guy that we featured at the top of the show as the leading scorer at this point with 23 points, 17 goals, 6 assists. Right now, he's sitting, so we'll wait and see what the story is with Ian Hafner.
And while Hafner is attended to there, let's take another listen in to Coach Richie Moran. We heard from him a little earlier about the youth on this Big Red team.
I don't particularly like to use either phrase because I firmly believe when freshmen come here that they're going to get into the transition of lacrosse here at Cornell and hopefully succeed. Right now, we've gotten great mileage out of all our players with the type of talent pool that we have. We've been behind in games, have come back. The only game this year that we had a lead in was a Yale game down in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm not saying that we should move our program to Boca Raton, Florida, but we haven't had an opportunity to have a lead. And I think it's essential that when you have a young team, you have to have a lead to work with from time to time.
And the two phrases he was talking about there were the terms regrouping or rebuilding. And he says that is not the case with Cornell. As Hafner is now up and walking over to the sideline. Syracuse, as you see right there, 63 of their last 67 games, they've been in double figures. The only time this year they didn't get there was that loss to Georgetown when they were held to 9 goals.
You know, as you look at Hafner go to the sideline, that'll be okay now, but when he wakes up tomorrow morning or after that bus ride back to Ithaca, yeah, that'll be hurt. We'll get some ice on that. He took a shot from Abrams, and it'll be a man-up opportunity as they took their time and they got Hafner off the field, and he appears to be all right, but going to have a heck of a bruise on that left knee.
Big red, black, and blue tomorrow.
That's right, yep.
10 seconds gone in the penalty to Abrams. Cornell just 28% on the season in man-up situations, 10 for 36 thus far.
You can see his man down is definitely just a zone defense. You try to cover all the passing lanes with your stick and the shooting lanes, and don't let it, you have to sacrifice your body. Nice save there by GEBHARDT.
GEBHARDT makes the stop on the shot from Gorman. Or check that, Wise. And then Wise tries to knock it away from RUHLE. And it will go out of bounds and back to Cornell with 15 seconds left on the penalty.
That was a great check. That was a great one-handed check, and he just knocked the ball out of the stick, and it went Cornell away. So Wise, nice job.
He's a player that's been in and out of that Cornell lineup due to ankle injuries, had a terrific freshman year, in fact, the best ever at Cornell. And then ankle injuries have slowed him up. They are happy to have him back in the lineup. In fact, he was hurt again earlier this year, came back just their last outing against Harvard. There's the nice centering pass and the goal for the Big Red. Credit that to number 5, Michael VORIS, his 7th of the season, and it's now 6-2 Syracuse.
He got free. Wise passes behind, and he just got a break. VORIS got a break. And 34 is going to get the assist, Morgan. And the Big Red now come up to 2 with 5:47 left to go in the second quarter. But as I said, if they can get a face-off and come back, they can get right back in this game. This game is not over. Even the pace has been slow, but it's to Cornell's liking. Let's see what they do as they crash the wing. come up with the ball, and now face off Cornell.
They get the ball back on the face-off. Another possession for the Big Red.
That's a pass. Let's see who that's off of. I think that's off of Syracuse, yeah.
Here we got deflection.
So the Big Red will keep it. And, you know, you take a look at that 6-2 score, Dale. Really the only difference, the man-up goals for Syracuse. Otherwise, the Big Red have played things pretty evenly. In fact, they have not allowed Syracuse a goal here in this second quarter. We've got 5.5 to play.
By the way, another great job by Josh RUHLE. He knocked the ball down, then put his big body in front of the Cornell man. He didn't let him make a play on the ground ball, and Syracuse has it back. So another good play by RUHLE.
He must have known we were going to talk about it earlier. Look at that shot from CAIONE, saved by Yost. Well, we've got to give some of the credit to Yost in goal. The defensive effort in this second quarter for the Big Red.
Well, as I said, he has been the Ivy League Player of the Week twice in a row. So he is a good goalie, and they're trying to, you know, bring him along. And I know Coach MORAN doesn't like to use the word freshman to rebuild, but it takes time for your goalie to get his feet wet and his stick down and make the adjustment from high school to college, especially at this level. And I think that he has done it, and he is doing it in this game. So Cornell, as we said, taking their time, running the same offense, 2 guys behind, lots of cutters up on top. Trying to get a break on the short sticks behind. CAIONE playing defense with the short stick.
This is Andy CAHALANE. Cornell works around in front. GEBHARDT may have gone off the pipe on that shot.
He lost it. I could tell that GEBHARDT lost it. He didn't know where it was. Might have gone off his stick, but it will be Cornell ball. Let's see if we can see on the replay. Vanderpool beaten. It looked like a pipe to me. It looked like the left pipe. 20-second timeout now as you see the ball go out of bounds, chased by Morgan, 34.
So Andy CAHALANE trying to get something going offensively for Cornell. The Big Red trail 6-2, and we've got a lot more lacrosse coming your way on Super Sports. Sunday, April 13th at 7 p.m., the Orangemen will be hosting the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers in the latest poll from the USIL, coming in at 18th in the country. And NCAA lacrosse coming up on Super Sports. And of course, some folks may recall that when Brown came to visit the Dome, they were also ranked 18th in the country.
That's true.
So you won't want to miss that one as you see Jason GEBHARDT with 3 saves in the game.
Yeah, he's made some, and they were good saves. They were tough ones. So GEBHARDT having a good game. Looks sharp, moving quickly. He's got 4:20 to go to get out of here with a 4-goal lead, but Syracuse has got their work cut out for them.
I know a lot of people, Dale, were questioning how GEBHARDT would respond after that Brown loss, and he seems to pretty much stay on an even keel all year long.
He does to me, and in a game, you know, I never see him slap his stick or kick his feet or do anything that I would do, but he's a very cool customer, and I'm sure it had to hurt him a couple of 20-goal games, but, you know, he knows that he's a good goalie. He just got to be consistent, and sometimes it's not all his fault, and he's not going to blame anybody but himself. So he's back, and he's having a good game today. Right now, you're seeing a typical kind of a microcosm of this game, just a long, careful offense by Cornell.
Sort of probing the perimeter, trying to find that one opening where the quick first step will get them through. This is Pat Dutton swinging around in front. Good defense from Voland. RUHLE. And Voland comes away with it. Gets the pass back to GEBHARDT, and Syracuse will look to clear.
Nice.
Long pass to midfield. Ackerman has it for the Orange.
Ackerman, the big stick midfielder. Thought he might stay. He's there in case they need him, but he's going to go off in favor of Kataya and Powell, Ryan Powell.
Also, Chris Clark stepping onto the carpet. Out there with Jackson Kavovit and Casey Powell out front. Doug Jackson gets it back to Kavovit. Trying to work away from Keller. 2:30 to go in the first half. And now Ryan Powell will reset way out on top.
That puts a lot of pressure on that one defender. Can he stay with all the moves? Left, right, left.
Pass intended for Kavovit does not get there, and Cornell will get it.
Get it back, get it back, get it back.
And Coach Desko not pleased with the pass from Powell on that play.
I don't blame him. He kind of forced that. Mr. Desko doing a little bit of close instruction there. Let him know that that's not where he wanted him to go with the ball, especially since he went out of bounds. So I'm sure that they'll work on that. Good defense, failure to advance. That will cost. So good defense by number 22, Powell. And he kind of takes off for his brother and helps him out. Oh, this
and now we'll go right at Yost. Cannot get the shot off. Good defense by Yost. Did not go for any of the deke moves.
3-0
the
red.
flag on the carpet.
3-0 red. 1 minute.
And a 1 minute penalty coming up on Cornell, the slash, and that's probably why Powell wasn't able to get the shot off. He got knocked right in the noggin.
Yeah, I think they stopped that flow of neurons there, right from his shoulder to his head. Nice slash, Minnerly on the slash, but Syracuse will certainly take the ball. They have made a living off of man-ups, so they got another up. This is the 6th, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but 3 for 5 thus far in the game. 3 for 5 is Syracuse. All 3 goals coming in that first quarter. Working in front,
Save.
Yost. Save on the high shot from Doug Jackson. Check that Kataya.
Long pass on the carpet.
Nicely played by Gorman off the one hop. And now the long stick looking to give it up. Able to find Morgan. Pass in front, Gebhardt way out, and the goal by number 42, CASILLO, makes it 6-3. So the Big Red creeping back into it with 1:21 to go in the half.
As I said, by being patient, they got a nice look. 34 Morgan saw 42 open, and Gebhardt made the move a little bit too late, and they have been beneficiaries of a nice goal on a Syracuse mistake, throwing the ball away. And now CASILLO has brought them to within 3, and they're getting good goaltending from Yost. They're right back in this game, Beth.
6-3, 2 goals in the quarter from Cornell. Syracuse held scoreless here in the second. Big face-off now. The Orange want to try and take away some of the momentum, and they are able to come up with it. Devin Ackerman.
The thing now, you got a lot of time, minute 12. Don't take one shot and don't get another one. If it's a good shot, take it. Make sure you've got your back up there, and Syracuse going to call a timeout. I would. Let me see. Is that it? Let's see.
Yep.
Yes. Because they've got 6 seconds left on the penalty, and they've got a minute 3 left in the quarter. They want to get this goal, and they don't want to make a mistake, so they're going to take time and discuss it.
6-3, Syracuse leading Cornell, but the Orangemen scoreless here in the second, so they'd like to try and take advantage of this final 6 seconds in the penalty. And as we've been talking about right from the start, Dale, a big rivalry between Syracuse and Cornell, and here are some of the thoughts from Syracuse coach Roy Simmons on how big this game is.
It's important to me, of course, maybe more important to me than anybody else, because I've been here at the Cornell-Syracuse lacrosse games for 61 years. And it went on before that, so it goes back a long ways. I think that when you talk about Syracuse and sports, obviously lacrosse is the one where we play the most, because they don't play football at our level anymore, or basketball, and they've had a resurgence in wrestling. We don't play them and everything, or haven't all those years, but we've been playing them, I think, since about 1916, and because it's Central New York, and we're natural rivals, and we're in Division I. It's not a difficult situation to play on a Wednesday, play on a Saturday, make up the game if the weather forbids the first time. And it's just been an ongoing, healthy series.
Some of Coach Simmons' thoughts as now the final few seconds tick off the man-up situation. And we've also got just 1 minute to go in the quarter. Jackson's pass knocked down, and Cornell comes out with it. Yost, the quick clearance pass, and now Cornell.
In the middle. Oh.
Off the stick of CASILLO. Otherwise, he might have had a clear shot on Gebhardt. Instead, it's Morgan. Now under 40 seconds to go in the first half. Hafner has it. He's been silent thus far, shut out in this first half by the Syracuse defense.
He is taking Powell back and forth behind the cage. Now he's going to make a move, looking for a cutter.
Hafner, good defense by Powell, strips him of the ball. The outlet pass to CARCATERRA, making the left-handed catch. Now Syracuse with 8 seconds to go in the half. CARCATERRA to Ryan Powell.
Oh,
off the crossbar. Jackson just missed it as time expires in the first half. 2 times in this first half, Syracuse off the pipe. And they will take the 6-3 lead into the locker room at the half. And welcome back to the Carrier Dome. 6-3, Syracuse leading Cornell at the half. Beth Mullins along with Dale Drypolcher. And Dale, Syracuse shut out in that second quarter, and really the tempo going the Big Reds way. But if you have to point at one thing, it's the change in goal for Cornell.
I think Yost, they didn't get as many shots on him as they did Zorella, but I think he came up big, and they seem to play with a lot of confidence when he's in there. Made a couple of nice outlet passes on his saves, which set up some good offense for the Big Reds. So it's going to be a good game. Going to be interesting. All
right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half of play, including 3 man-up goals for Syracuse. We'll take a look at one of them here.
They're going to get a passive fast break goal. The first one is they got an assist. Jackson got an assist from Kavovit. Now you're going to see that man up as they work the ball around, and then they're going to get a shot from outside by CARCATERRA. And now you're going to see at the end, near the end of the second quarter, it's kind of an unsettled situation for Cornell. They got the ball up, and number 42, CASILLO, just dumped it in the open net as GEBHARDT came out. And we'll take a look at the stats. 6-3 is the score, but shots, Syracuse almost double, saves double for Cornell. Ground ball 16-20. That took a real turnaround after the first quarter. Face-offs 5-5. That's even. Clears 10 out of 15 for Cornell, 13 out of 15, and man-up goals 1 out of 1 for Cornell, 3 of 6 for Syracuse. I would have to say a little bit of the momentum shifted, Beth. I think in that second quarter, as you said when we went off air, that wasn't really a scintillating quarter for Syracuse, and I think Cornell kind of sensed that maybe they can come back. And as I said, a 4 or 5 goal lead in Lacrosse is not that much, and they came back in, they got that one. That big goal by CASILLO brings them back in to within 3.
Something to keep an eye on for the Big Red. They have not fared very well in the first or third quarters. They were blasted in the first here tonight, 6-1, and overall in the third quarter they have been outscored in their 8 games, 29-14. So they have had problems coming out from the time off at the intermission. Let's see if Syracuse can take advantage of that, or if Cornell can hold on to this momentum going into the third. I got to believe, Dale, that as the longer they stick around, the more their confidence grows.
Yep. And that was a great stat. I didn't realize that, but that's, if you're Richie Moran, we got to change that, guys. We got to come out big in the third quarter, because we just can't keep doing things like that, especially since it's so important when you have some momentum. And they're going to make a little repair to the net, I think, as we see Richie Moran. Things are delayed a little bit, or no, on the field they're putting a little piece of turf back in, I guess, with some tape on the line, a little
tape
repair
down on the seam, maybe along that 30-yard line.
So something you don't see often in a lacrosse game is people standing around. It's the fastest game on 2 feet for good reason, but.
Well, both clubs used to the turf, of course. Syracuse here in the Dome, Cornell at Sholkoff, and another interesting stat for you. So I got out my calculator prior to the game. Cornell just 1-6 on turf this year. So they have struggled. And to face off, it will be Tanner Campbell in red, and in white, Tim Burns for Syracuse, number 12.
See what they talked about at halftime with the face-off, guys, because that ball is loose. Nobody's got it. A lot of crashing, a lot of aluminum thrashing down there, and nobody has it yet. One of the longest face-offs I've seen. Syracuse has it. Yes.
Finally scooped up by Alexander.
That was a long face-off. That was a lot of hacking and hewing down there, but Syracuse does get the ball. Kavovit's got it way behind.
That took about 20 seconds off the clock there to start out this third quarter.
Yep.
6-3 Syracuse. The Orange coming in ranked 5th. This is Doug Jackson.
Way out on top, the midfielder CAIONE.
CAIONE feeding Jackson. Kavovit is in front. Instead, they'll go to Powell behind. Spinning away from the defender, Casey Powell. The pass in front, Jackson all alone, and almost nonchalanted that one, and it doesn't go in. But the whistle will be against the Big Red.
Pushed him in the crease. You're right. You know, you don't have to take a hard shot. You just have to put it where the goalie and his stick aren't. And that's what he tried. Tried to quick stick it right there because he had the goalie out of position. And what he wanted to do was just flip the stick and get it in there. He didn't get it. He also took a trip into the crease, but that was a push on Cornell. So Vanderpool takes the ball behind number 44.
Vanderpool will take a run at it from the corner. Kavovit to Casey Powell. Powell has been held in check here tonight. Looking for the assist to Kavovit. Rob swings it around back. Pass way out on top. CAIONE fires and scores. Second goal of the game for the freshman from Yorktown.
Numero 2 for him. Nice shot. CAIONE, a lot of that wrist side shot. He's done it a lot, and that seems to be his favorite shot. And he's getting some more velocity tonight than he has in the past. And as you said, goal number 2 is Kavovit. Nice feed. Look at, you see that space? Look at that space open up. That was a great shot, guys. Nobody in red there, and he got to take a hop, step, and a jump before he cranked that from the right side.
And a career high for CAIONE, 2 goals in 1 game for the freshman. He joins Jackson and Kavovit now with 2 apiece tonight, 7-3 Syracuse.
Nice face-off there. Ackerman, the big stick midi, came across, picked up the loose ball, and got the face-off for Syracuse as they get the offense in now. They let Kavovit run behind and take a couple of poke checks.
This is Kataya. And they get it back to Kavovit now behind the cage. Swing it around to Jackson. That last goal, by the way, the first since 47 seconds to go in the first, off the side of the net. Casey Powell swings it back around in front. Shot bounces over the top. Jackson the closest to it, and Powell once again for the 3rd time tonight takes a pretty good shot.
Well, you know, we talked about the fact that what they're going to try to do. On this one, it isn't really illustrative, but basically, when you got that good an attackman, they're going to double, triple team him whenever he gets they get a chance. What we said is the midfield has to pick up the slack a little bit, and Syracuse taking some shots, 29-13 at this point, and I think the midfield has responded.
CARCATERRA and CAIONE both have goals tonight for the midfield.
Right.
So they have had good balance with that midfield and the attack tonight. Powell behind the back, and Casey still down on the carpet. And the whistle will go against Cornell. Syracuse will keep it.
Richie Moran working the officials on his side. There's a shot. There's a push. It was a good call. It was a good call.
I think that shot actually went off the shoulder of the defender on that play. Trottola.
Your eyes are younger than mine. I'm going with you.
Ryan Powell looking for some room to maneuver.
Well, he's waiting. He's got a triple. Well, he had a double team there. Now he's running out. But, yeah, when you run back and forth like that, hold on to the ball.
Chris Clark fires wide left, backed up by Casey Powell.
Well, you know, they're going to give Yost, you know, they said you weren't here in the first quarter, but we're going to take a quarter's worth of shots on you here at the beginning of this 3rd period.
7-3, the Orangemen on top. Ryan Powell goes low and scores. Beating Yost low, and it's now 8-3 Syracuse, first goal of the game for Ryan Powell.
Just a sweep coming from left to right as you see it, and he beats it right between the legs of Yost. He got it low, and Ryan Powell looked a little slower from the other angle, and we saw it, but that's a tough shot to stop. He put it right between the legs of Yost.
7th of the season for Ryan Powell. He now has 18 points on the year, and it's an 8-3 Syracuse lead. So the Orange respond coming out of the intermission with 2 goals, and Syracuse in front 7-5 in the face-off category as well. scooped up by Burns. He's starting to dominate now in the face-offs tonight.
Oh, they're really using the sideline. Just got off.
Kavovit's pass on the carpet, scooped up by the defense for Cornell. Now the Big Red will try and clear it. Kavovit giving chase.
They just got that over there.
Number 16, Toussaint. And Toussaint has Vanderpool on him, and he'll give it up to Tanner Campbell. Campbell, a sophomore from Chevy Chase. Flips it over to Ian Hafner. And now CAHALANE. CAHALANE and Hafner have been held in check by the Syracuse defense thus far. CAHALANE had the first goal of the game. And Hafner has not scored yet.
CAHALANE is, Vanderpool's been on him and keeping a close eye, not letting him get free. One of the things, watch CAHALANE come way out up on top there. You really have to move without the ball. Now, he's got to be saying, Vanderpool's got to be saying, where is my guy? I gotta watch him. And if he makes a break out of the pile, he's going to help him out.
GEBHARDT saves it with the shaft of the stick. And Volin gets it to Josh RUHLE. And RUHLE charges into the offensive zone.
It's a big target, 6'5", 230.
Feet in front, Powell behind the back for the goal. Pretty play, Casey Powell makes it 9-3.
If you give 2 assists on that, they ought to give one to RUHLE because he started the whole thing off, and he has picked a great night to have a great game. As he gets the ball up, he gets it to Kavovit. Kavovit gets it to Powell. Powell takes it behind the back and beats Yost for goal number 9.
Powell's 23rd goal of the season. Leading the nation coming in points per game, picking up his first goal of the night. And Syracuse now starting to open it up.
That'll be play on. That's a push.
Push on the red. Push on the red. Push on the white.
Now he's changing his mind. He first said push on the red and corrected himself, said push on the white.
Yeah, that's one thing. Lacrosse officials will correct themselves. Baseball, never. See, lacrosse, if they make a mistake, they
were going to pick it up.
Walt Munn, Steve Miller, Terry McNabb, and Gary Janis. The referee, the umpire, the field judge, and the bench official tonight. 9.5 to go in the third, 9-3 Syracuse. The Orange with 3 unanswered goals to open things up here in the third.
Oh, a dribbler.
Cummings. The wrap check knocks it free. And again, RUHLE. See if he can pick up another assist here, Dale.
Yeah, they probably didn't give him one on that last one because it would be 2 on the same shot, which you can't do, but.
Kavovit's pass, an errant one. Intended for Abrams. As we see BRACELAND head to the sideline for Cornell. Also coming off is Minnerly.
Well, once again, at least at this point with 9:05 left, that bugaboo of not producing in the third quarter, Richie Moran's team, at least at this point, has had some problems, and Syracuse up to a 6-goal lead. Again, certainly not insurmountable, but you have to pick up the pace, and there's a poor pass, and nobody's going to get that before it goes out of bounds.
Brian Morgan tried to grab that with one hand. And the scramble for the ball on the sideline will go to Syracuse as Ryan Cummings picks himself up. And Hafner looks on from the Cornell bench.
Richie Moran down there in the corner still working the official, Steve Miller. He always does a good job of that. When you do a game against Richie Moran, it's always interesting if you're an official. They just got their man in right behind Vanderpool. Just checked in 30 Minnerly.
CAIONE to Casey Powell. Vanderpool, Carcaterra, Alexander all out there. This is Kavovit working on Keller. Keller keeping Kavovit away. CAIONE to Carcaterra. He's got Powelll on him. The left-handed shot, no good. Yost was there. Tracked down by Alexander. Vanterpool works it with the left hand. Now resettles out top. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in the third. The feed, Kavovit tries to one-time it, never made the catch.
Nope.
And it rolls over the sideline to the Cornell Big Red.
Tried the little quick stick there, and it didn't go out of bounds. Cornell ball.
So both teams will take this opportunity to get some fresh legs on the field. And Yost will start to clear for Cornell, down 9-3.
Syracuse putting a little pressure on Yost.
We're 11 for 17 thus far tonight. Powell, flag thrown against Casey Powell as he took CAHALANE down.
CAHALANE went down, and it'll be a 30-second, I think. Let's see what they call. Nope, gonna be a trip, so that'll be a minute. Let's see. So it will be a full minute now for Cornell. Now this is a chance to get back in it as Powell sits for one.
Powell's out for tripping in just one man up situation thus far tonight for Cornell. And they scored on it. As you see, 1 for 1.
Just checking ground balls unofficially. Syracuse 26, Cornell 17. With pretty good statistic, means you're picking them up off the carpet and using the opportunities. At this point now, Cornell is their man up, one of the rare ones.
Working it around the perimeter. Tanner Campbell to Hafner. He's also got Wise out there along with VORIS. This is Dutton. Also CAHALANE working behind the cage. Now Dutton will go low, bounces off of GEBHARDT and out of play. So Cornell will keep it. Another save for Jason GEBHARDT.
The defensemen all close ranks on that, get in front and get those sticks out, but they look a little bit confused on the man up. At this point, they weren't sure exactly how to play this.
Wise left alone, and he scores. 9-4 now, Syracuse on top as Wise picks up the goal.
John Wise, also a freshman. I think, let's check this. Yep, low shot, and he got a good jump. You're going to see it again. There's the crank. They jumped out, tried to get him, but they could not get to him in time. So Matt Wise.
He's also got a brother John on the team, but Matt Wise picks up the goal, his third of the year. And Syracuse able to come away with the faceoff. Ackerman again scoops it up with the long stick. Ball down on the carpet. Syracuse has it. Alexander, and he loses it out of his cross.
Some hitting going on down there.
The Powell brothers over there for Syracuse. And the Orangemen will get it. Casey Powell there.
I saw somebody make it to the crease, and there was like 4 red bodies just descended on him. Helmets went up as far as the chin straps would let him go, and then just, they're going to make you earn it if you try to tiptoe through that crease, I'll tell you that.
Well, Syracuse has not had many easy opportunities against this Cornell defense tonight. Other than the penalties that hurt the Big Red in that first half. This is Casey Powell.
Oh, tough.
Comes in, goes low, and scores. Nothing Yost could do about that one.
Well, Minerly lost him out on top, and that caused the whole kind of defense to fall apart right there. Minerly's chasing him, okay? But then they jump. 48 jumps over Powell, and then they can't get him, and he takes that low shot on Yost. And as you said, you called it exactly. There's not much Yost can do with something like that. So number 22 gets Syracuse back to a 6-goal lead.
Second straight for Casey Powell. He now has 24 goals on the season and 49 points. Here you see in the face-off category, 9-6 Syracuse. The Orangemen come away with another one.
McCartan, nice ground ball, gets over to Volin, who's going to try to clear it here. That's off Cornell's stick. Yep, number 34 got his stick up, Morgan, but Syracuse will get it, and I think that's Powell, number 1.
Powell out there along with Chris Clark, Kataya, at the midfield. Kavovit along with Casey Powell and Matt Alexander. This is Ryan Powell. Chris Clark trying to track it down. Flag goes down. Cornell bench does not like the call, but it looks like it's going against the Big Red. Slashing 1 minute, the penalty. And that will be on number 39, Braceland. That's his second slashing penalty of the game.
Richie Moran, great double take in a, what are you doing to me look. Yeah, you see, he got him on the, yeah, he got him on the arm. So you can get him on the, the glove, because that's part of the stick. But when you smack him up on the back of the shoulder or the back, but Richie couldn't see that, so I can understand why he was perhaps questioning the veracity of the call.
Syracuse 50-50 on their man-up situations tonight, as Drypolter tries to sneak veracity into the conversation. This is Jackson going high and beating Yost. 11-4 Orange. Jackson with the hat trick tonight.
Nice look from behind as CASILLO tries to slide, but not before Jackson gets a good clear shot off. And that was Kavovit on the assist, number 15 from behind. A nice pass by Rob Kavovit.
Third of the night for Jackson, 21st of the season. And another assist for Rob Kavovit. We talked earlier about his goal scoring and the fact that he's tied for 10th with Zilberti, as we've got a whistle and a timeout in Cornell. Let's talk a little about Kavovit in the assist department. Right now he's 5th all time, getting a little closer to Jamie Archer's numbers. And in the points category, he is 8th right now. He just passed Brad Kotz, and Paul Gate is just a couple of points ahead of him now in the 7th spot. So Kavovit continues to move up all time at Syracuse. And we've got more lacrosse coming up this weekend. Sunday, April 13th at 7 p.m. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights, ranked 18th in the country, will be taking on the Syracuse Orangemen, number 5 in the latest poll, right here in the Carrier Dome. That's NCAA lacrosse coming up on Super Sports. And for Coach Richie Moran, at 2-6 on the season and a young team, he says, in order to improve, just about everybody in the program has to get involved.
When you're 2-6, you really have to reach back for everybody to play better. Coaching staff's going to have to coach better. Manager's going to have to manage better. Scorekeeper's going to have to keep the score better. Bus driver's going to have to drive the bus better. So we're looking for everyone.
And for Coach Moran and the Big Reds, still on the schedule, it doesn't get any easier. They've got Dartmouth, then they finish up with Hobart, Princeton, and Brown. Princeton still unbeaten, and of course Brown a winner over Syracuse earlier in the season. As we take a look at some of the folks on hand tonight, it's been a terrific year attendance-wise for the Orangemen. I believe their highest number is over 7,000 since that 1990 championship season. And a lot of that to do, Dale, I think, with the big names they've been bringing in. It's been a fantastic schedule this year for the folks in Central New York.
Really nice home schedule. And of course, the Syracuse fans love Syracuse lacrosse, and of course Central New York, a real hotbed for high school lacrosse, so it's kind of a natural carryover.
Interesting little sidelight as well. The largest crowd to watch a lacrosse game here at the Dome was Syracuse and Cornell. It's back in the '88 championship game, as we see Syracuse 10-6 in the face-off department.
Searle was in for the face-off, 33.
So Syracuse going with a new look and a different result, as Cornell was able to come away with it, but GEBHARDT trying to track down the ground ball for Syracuse.
Ball down at Ackerman. Up with it. Big stick takes it over. Oh, lost, intercepted. Nice job by Cornell.
Pass picked off by Keller, and now here comes Cornell. And GEBHARDT didn't need to get a stick on that. The shot wide for number 27, Wise. He has a goal here in the third for Cornell. Unfortunately for the Big Red, though, they've been outscored 5-1 since halftime. 11-4 Syracuse advantage, under 5 to go in the third. This is VORIS. VORIS had one of the goals in that second quarter for Cornell, and now CAHALANE, who scored the first goal of the game. Trying to move around in front, gets the shot off and he scores. Believe he beat Gebhardt pipe side on that one. Not a whole lot of room there, and CAHALANE finds a way to sneak it through.
Alexander, Matt Alexander, number 30 on the defense. Ball just took a hop. See, that was not a hard shot. Just a little bit of a crazy bounce, and CAHALANE gets a second goal tonight. I think he had the first one, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's his 11th of the season. 11-5 the score. Now 12-6 in the face-off department. Syracuse leading in both categories. Casey Powell, feed in front, and a goal for Doug Jackson, his 4th of the game.
Doug Jackson quietly racking up the goals here, as it's just a one-on-one, and Powell does a nice job of getting rid of it. And of course, if you're the goalie, you're figuring Powell's going to fire, and he dumps off to Jackson at the last minute, and then he tries to recover and tries to move over to the right. That's the ball movement. That's what makes it so difficult for the goalie, is they have to cover, and then all of a sudden the ball goes a different direction. Good job by Syracuse.
Doug Jackson tying a career high with 4 goals tonight.
By the way, Kevin Sheedy in number 45 for Syracuse defensively. Close defense.
Sheedy, along with Chris Clark, a couple of players that transferred from Michigan State after the Spartans discontinued their lacrosse program.
They must have had a pretty decent program. 2 guys keep coming start for Syracuse. Or at least play for Syracuse.
Under 4 to go now in the quarter.
Oh, jump. That leaves him wide open. Let's see what happens.
Dutton has it now for the Big Red. We'll look to get it to CAHALANE. That one bounces on the carpet. Andy able to control it. Comes off the screen from Dutton. In uncontested. Save Gebhardt. Quick outlet to Ryan Powell. And there go the Orange. Powell feeds to Kavovit. Jackson. And then the pass back out on top gets away from Syracuse. And we've got a whistle out at midfield.
Yeah, they pushed in the crease.
So the whistle back down by the goal will go against Cornell.
Correct.
We're going to see Gebhardt 6 saves on the day.
I think his defense has looked pretty sharp at this point.
This is Powell, Jackson. Syracuse has scored goals now on their last 3 shot attempts. Ryan Powell, will he make it 4 for 4? No, save Yost. And quickly the outlet to Minnerly. He takes it across midfield. The long stick, still in control. And then taken away by the Orange defense. Sheedy has it.
Nice pass.
Chris Clark looking for Ryan Powell, and Casey Powell could not hook up with his brother. The Big Red will get it back.
You got to remember that Powell Ryan is just a freshman.
There you see Ryan. He has a goal tonight. Brother Casey has 2. 41-26 right now. Syracuse leading in the ground ball category.
Good statistic to look at. It gives you an idea of why the score, as I say, not always a reliable statistic. It is in this one, and on a poor pass there, Syracuse will get the ball. Kavovit should have it down there, and Richie Moran probably a little concerned about that aspect of the game. It's hard enough just to get beat and play Syracuse, but if you throw the ball away too many times, it's gonna kill you.
This is Rob Kavovit. 2 goals tonight so far for Rob. In the turnover category, Cornell 15, Syracuse 12. Let's see if Syracuse can take advantage of this most recent turnover from Cornell. CAIONE, he's got a couple of goals this evening.
He likes the big sweep with the wrist shot.
Kavovit feeding in traffic. Powell, shot goes off the helmet of a defender and out of play. You
know, since they've changed those helmets, they got these aerodynamic helmets, and they guys that I think at first they weren't sure they were going to like him, but they really like him, and obviously they can take it because bingo, there's a high fly.
Excedrin headache right there.
There you go. There's a good look at the helmet. Much lighter. You know, the best part about it is, though, as they say, you can see the warning. Do not remove the helmet if you're playing.
Pretty good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. But they say the vision, the side vision, is so much better in those helmets than the old style helmets that it really opens a lot of things up. And right now, Syracuse trying to open this up as the ball is down.
Another good ride by the Orange. Able to knock the ball down.
Failure to advance, and that will cost them a possession. That was a good hit on the stick. That was a good check.
I think the defender, they're looking for a tripping violation against Casey Powell. That was Keller.
Flag down. Offside. No, I don't know what it is. 2 flags down now.
Powell working in front, goes low and scores.
Look at the guys on him. 1, 2, 3.
Wearing a big red suit right there.
Yeah.
And again, Powell slow getting up. Let's take another look.
Talk about the attraction of being a hit magnet. Okay, let's all get him. look at this.
Look at that convergence.
Yeah, let's have a party here, and we'll all jump on Powell. And you can see just how he got the shot off, I'm not exactly sure. Looked like a little backhand, but he comes up with number 3 for the evening, and an 8-goal lead for Syracuse at 1:06 in the third.
Hat trick for Casey Powell. Bumps him up over the 50-point mark for the season. 13-5 the score, 12-7 Syracuse in the face-off department.
Get back, everybody out of here. Man up.
And it has definitely been Syracuse's quarter after being shut out in the second. 7 goals to 2 for Cornell here in the third.
Cordisco, 39, was out for the face-off for Syracuse, and ball down. Syracuse got it. Sheedy scooped it right to the goalie. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Under a minute to go in the third. And Syracuse now with an opportunity to extend the lead.
That Alexander, 30, got the ball down and midfield unit in. Somebody thought they were man down. They said we are not a man down. There's nobody in the penalty area, so Syracuse is going to take their time. CAIONE coming in along with Schertz.
Under a half a minute to go. This is Alexander behind the cage. Being checked by DeLuca defensively. Now Kavovit on top to Carcaterra. Carcaterra. Down to 2 seconds to go. Carcaterra fires it and misses wide. And we have completed 3. Syracuse with the 13-5 lead. And we will be back to the Carrier Dome for the final 15 minutes between the Orangemen and the Big Red right after this.
We've worked 4 or 5 kids at that unique position. It's kind of a trade-off. You don't want to get anybody stuck out there that doesn't play great offense. You don't want to get anybody stuck out there that plays poor defense. And Tim Burns has got the nod right now because should he lose the ball, he plays good defense. Should he come up with the ball on a fast break, he can initiate offense.
And there you see Tim Burns, the freshman from Baldwin, New York, 10 for 16 tonight in the face-off category.
Can't beat that. Procedure, somebody out. Hold it. Who is it? Back. There we go.
Syracuse will have it just underway here in this fourth quarter. Syracuse with the 13-5 lead. CAIONE has it. And now Schertz comes on. He's out there with Carcaterra, as well as Kavovit, Jackson, and Casey Powell.
You were pretty prophetic about that third quarter as you got your calculator out, and yeah, there was a dead spot there for Cornell after, I think, playing a heck of a second quarter. Right now, they've got to pick up the pace again. Cornell will get the ball now on the pass, but
Jackson not able to track that one down.
Nope.
It was 7 goals for Syracuse to 2 for Cornell in that third as Richie Moran looks on. 29 seasons on the sideline for the Big Red. 3 national championships, over 250 wins in his career.
Geez, he was coaching there when Woodstock was in. Open goal
shot from across midfield by Devin Ackerman. And they have made another change in goal as well. Rich Yost is out, and Greg Zorella, #1, is back in for Cornell.
May have been by design. I've looked at their stats, and they both play, I think in every game but 2, they both played. So it continues, and they're bringing the freshman along, and they've given back to Zorella, the senior. Oh, nice check, Ackerman.
Ackerman takes it away from CAHALANE. Gets it to GEBHARDT. GEBHARDT looking for Josh RUHLE. Kavovit makes a nice play, and RUHLE scoops it up.
That's a long on desire with the big stick.
Staying in the offensive end for the time being, and now RUHLE scoots back as Cummings goes in and fires high, and Zorella is there for the save.
The ball's on the turf again. What do we got here?
He caught it.
Let's see what the result will be. Cornell ball.
Cornell ball, yeah, at the midfield line. Said Brostek's coming out. Let's check the shots out. The third quarter is the key, I think. 14-7, and Syracuse really at that 2-1 there. The first quarter also, but it seemed like they really, as far as momentum, they did it when they had to in that third quarter, because Cornell had crept back at halftime to about half of the total of Syracuse, and perhaps we had set a little bit of momentum change, but Syracuse did it, and at this point still doing it, up by 8.
Now the big question, does Cornell have the firepower to make this kind of comeback down by 8? Shot goes over the top, backed up by the Big Red.
And also, not only the firepower, but you know how long those plays, they were good plays, but they take so long to develop. Can they afford to take, obviously they cannot afford to take that much time.
Hafner has it on top. Campbell gets it back to Hafner.
Syracuse uses zone defense now, which they use at different times.
Swing it around and back to Wise, and the pass out top to Dutton goes out to midfield. Cornell able to come up with it.
Slash.
And the flag at midfield.
Well, he stopped.
The whistle stops play, otherwise Jackson was going to continue after Braceland.
Well, yeah, he threw the flag. It was a slash. He threw the flag, and Braceland stopped. When the flag, he didn't blow the whistle. He should have just kept on running. But eventually, I don't know what happened. He did blow the whistle, but Braceland looked at him, Jackson looked at him, and then somebody either stepped out of bounds or something. At any rate, it'll be a minute for a slash for Jackson, I'm sure. So man-up opportunity number 3 for Cornell.
Good sign for the Big Red. They are 2 for 2 in man-up situations thus far tonight. 3 minutes gone in the 4th. Syracuse with the 13-5 lead. Campbell to Hafner, to Wise, back to Hafner. He fires. GEBHARDT with the save.
That was a rocket. Here's one way to clear it. Just run.
Number 30, Matt Alexander, gets it across midfield. Ackerman with the long stick, and now to Casey Powell. As Alexander will trot off.
Minerly is on Powell behind, poke checking, looking for a little help.
Casey Powell has the hat trick tonight for Syracuse. Doug Jackson with 4 goals to lead the way for the Orange. Both Powell and Kavovit are behind.
Taking some time off the clock for Syracuse also. This is not a stall, but it's a very patient offense that Syracuse is running. I mean, why, you're up by 8, why get into a shooting contest? Oh, they're going to get a benefit of a slash here.
3-0, red, slash.
And the slash called against Minerly, so he will come off.
They have had a number
situation now for Syracuse.
Excuse me, brother. They've had a number of penalties, not all time served, but they have been a team that's kind of penalty prone tonight. This one will will be a time serve. I mean, but the ones when you push, when there's no possession, you give the ball over, it still hurt them, and they look to be a little bit ragged in that particular aspect, as Glenn Minerly not too happy with his slashing call.
Syracuse 4 of 7 in man-up situations. Casey Powell to Ryan Powell. Now over to Kataya.
Oh, good check. That's off of Syracuse. Saved.
Good stick check out top. That was Keller who got a piece of it. Carcaterra to Jackson. Casey Powell winds up, goes low, saves Zorella. Jackson backs it up. Syracuse will keep it with 29 seconds left in the penalty. Yost looks down, may have saved that one with his leg.
Yeah, I think he had the stick on it and bounced it up, but he looks a little refreshed after that, you know, giving Yost. And so I think it maybe gives you a little bit of a break, obviously, when they're cranking those rocks at you, but he certainly looks to be good so far in this fourth quarter.
16 now left in the penalty. Kavovit looking for someone to dish to. Gets it out top, Powell. Switches to the left hand, fires. Shot deflected by defender Carcaterra. Winds up, goes low, saves Zorella. Quick outlet to midfield, VORIS. And now Josh Morgan. Feed in front, shot, save, GEBHARDT. On the attempt from Tucson. Now Kataya has it at midfield. Ryan Powell. Feeds in front, the one-timer is good by Jackson. 5th goal of the game for Doug Jackson, a new career high.
Jackson doing the job as the fans appreciate number 11's effort as they stand and applaud. Let's take a couple looks at these saves. Right there, there's a great save by GEBHARDT. What's he do? Starts the outlet. Nice little split edit here, a little cut down to see the finish off by Jackson.
Even Yost gives him a pat on the back.
You're absolutely right.
5 goals for Doug Jackson, a new career high for the senior from DeWitt. Now has 23 goals on the season. Face-offs, possession still in doubt. Some good hitting going on.
We have a 20-second record, right, on face-offs so far tonight. Yeah.
20 seconds the high. That was about 15 on that one.
Now Zorella's going to see another fast break here in the cage. Oh, they run it off.
Jackson to Kavovit. Drew Searle, by the way, was out there again taking the face-off for Syracuse. So Coach Simmons working several different people behind Burns, who did an outstanding job this evening.
Well, you got to have somebody. I mean, you know, suppose Burns gets tired or Burns gets hurt, you got to have somebody else, and this is when you get into repetitions.
Blisker can't handle the pass from Kavovit.
Oh, that was a great sounding hit.
Blisker got the stick of CASILLO. Let's see who they'll give possession to. Looks like it will be Cornell. And Syracuse gets the long sticks out.
Boy, those sticks. Now, if that was a wooden stick, probably would have shattered in the old days. Listen to that. Oh, that sound of titanium.
Coming up on 8.5 to play. Syracuse with the 9-goal lead. There you see the scoring by quarter. Good in the first, good in the third for the Orange. And right now, the lowest output of the season is the defense has been stellar, and RUHLE will be whistled for the foul here.
The big guy is going to take a seat. I think he has played an outstanding game. One of the guys that we featured, and as we said, he picked a nice night to have a good game. Here he's going to pick up a penalty, slash, but he has been after the ground balls. He has done some great passing. He's started some fast breaks. So Josh RUHLE, a part of the improving Syracuse defense, and giving up at this point with 8:19 left, only 5 goals. Almost, I don't want to say unheard of, but certainly not the norm in Division I lacrosse to have that low scoring a game. So it means your defense is doing something right.
2 for 3 in man-up situations now for Cornell. Morgan. Working on Volin. They swing it around in front. Tough pass. intended for Campbell, and Gebhardt comes away with it for Syracuse.
Ooh, pinpoint outlet pass.
The outlet, fantastic catch by Alexander. And Matt Alexander able to get it across midfield. The sophomore from West Jenny. Working with Jackson. Doug Jackson.
For a minute he was. They're getting a little desperate here defensively. You can see him taking the shots, but a nice looking Zorella pass. Great pass.
Sweet look to Minnerly across midfield. And now Hafner has it. Ian Hafner still looking for his first goal of the game.
He came in as leading scorer. Points, 16 goals, 7 assists, and I believe 13 ground balls. Oh,
there's
nice
a shot and a score from number 5, VORIS. That is his second goal of the game for Michael VORIS, the sophomore from Potomac, Maryland.
This is just a crank shot, and if you don't get stick on stick like that, and you give him that room to crank, that's going to put a lot of pressure on your goalie. See him when he gets that 1, 2, 3 steps there, and it's hard. And of course, you got to get out, sacrifice your body, get your stick in front of it. But VORIS, number 2, and brings the Big Red up to 6.
Oh, 14-6 now, Syracuse. And there's the face-off. Syracuse still in control in that department. 8-goal advantage with 7 minutes to play in the game. And the ball scooped up by Cornell. Brostek. Cornell looking for the quick strike, knocked away by RUHLE. Scramble for the loose ball. Syracuse comes away with it.
Good speeds. That's Sheedy?
Sheedy.
Yeah, good wheels.
Sheedy looking to go coast to coast. Bumped. And the Big Red come out with it. Zorella. And his pass, an errant one.
But picked up and lost.
Morgan loses it out of bounds. So Syracuse will get it back with 6:35 to play.
You know, you talked about coast to coast. In lacrosse, get an appreciation, because what Sheedy was going to have to do is go coast to coast to coast until they lost that ball. And then had it started the other way, if the defense, he would have had to do it coast again. So it really is a game where you have to be able to run and run well. And Syracuse has been doing that.
Those defenders always have to keep in mind that that's a round trip.
Yeah.
They can't forget about the second leg. They got to get back home after they get up to the offensive end.
Some guy back there with a little stick waiting for them to come back.
29 is Matt Doyle. Feeding Sherritts. Spinning through the defense, and he is stripped, and coming away with it is Toussaint. Dangerous pass in the middle. RUHLE able to knock that one away, and Gebhardt.
Glisker's showing me why he plays football. Just a real good sprint for a big guy, 6'4", 215. He was there in a second. There's the hit. You know, by lacrosse standards, that was a minor traffic violation. That wasn't even a good crash.
Wasn't like the titanium on titanium we had a little earlier.
That ought to be something. It is.
There's the flag as Sherritts is taken down. Penalty will go against Cornell. And it's going to go against Minnerly. So that's a couple in a row now on Minnerly, as he will have to sit down once again in a man-up situation for Syracuse.
Only 30 this time. Did you know, a lot of people don't know, you can actually foul out of a lacrosse game if you have 5 personal fouls. Not the 30-second variety, the 5 personal fouls. They can give you, well, not they can, you do, you get tossed.
The old heave-ho?
Yeah, you don't see it too often, but, and that one on Minnerly, as I said, was only a 30, so he's safe.
30 seconds for the man-up now for Syracuse. Orange are 4 for 8 in that category tonight. Jackson, Carcaterra. Errant pass, Jackson to Carcaterra. Syracuse loses it with 17 left in the penalty.
One of the first things that Jackson's done wrong tonight, if that was his errant pass, he's put a number of good shots in tonight. He got 4 goals, I believe, Jackson?
Jackson 5 tonight.
5 goals, okay.
Career high for Doug. He's out there on the ride right now with Matt Doyle and Kavovit. And the penalty is now over.
Yep.
So both sides are even. This is Pat Dutton. Looking for some room to move. Gets the shot away. Gebhardt with the save.
Oh, nice little touch pass there.
Cummings finally able to get possession.
Cummings better watch it.
Somebody coming from behind. Minnerly able to knock it away.
Syracuse ball. Nice job by both Cummings and number 29, Matt Doyle.
There you see Desko waving off the timeout. He wanted to call a timeout when Minnerly was charging in on Powell.
Yeah.
Or on Cummings, rather.
Ball is down. Here's that little check. Bingo.
And now number 29, Matt Doyle, will put it into play. Doyle, the senior from Elmont, New York.
Oh, nice
in
pass.
Front, all alone for the score. I believe that was Cordisco with the goal, number 39.
You're right, and that's his first. You're gonna get a look at it. It was just a great pass, and Cordisco is gonna just take a nice shot. Look at this, there's the run in. When they come over to double, he makes the nice pass. And Cordisco, who's got a twin brother.
Yep, that's Jeff Cordisco on the goal.
Yep.
To make it 15-6.
They both transferred from Western Maryland. And I believe that's his first goal.
Yep. Assist to Matt Doyle.
Oh.
Matt Wilson was in to do the face-off duties that time for Syracuse as they get possession.
Run through two Orangemen here. Let's see what they...
Wilson able to maintain possession, gets it to Doyle. Doyle being checked by Bach.
Well, Cordisco gets the jump coming out of the substitution area. See if he gets a shot off.
He did get the pass, no shot though. As Jackson gets it back out on top. D'Arcangelo, as the Syracuse coaching staff getting a lot of new faces out there with 3:38 to play, 15-6 Syracuse lead. Feed in front of Jackson, goal number 6 for Doug Jackson.
That was an easy one for Jackson. He gets a nice pass. They're really pushing out Doyle, and he just makes a great assisting pass to Jackson. Watch Doyle. He's really getting worked over. Took one of the chops there, and he just pinpoint pass to Jackson. And Zorella, nothing he could do about it.
How about Doug Jackson? 6 goals now on the night. 15-6 on the scoreboard, 15-9 in faceoffs. And there is Jackson with a career night, career high in goals, career high in points. He now has 24 goals in the season. So a great outing for the senior from DeWitt. We've got 3:15 to play, 10-goal advantage right now for Syracuse as the Orange try and improve to 6-2 on the season. Cornell close to falling to 2-7 on the year.
Get ready.
Syracuse has Rutgers coming up next, then Penn, UMass, and Hobart to close out the regular season for the Orange. As we mentioned for Cornell, they've got Dartmouth, Hobart, Princeton, and Brown, all still to come on their schedule.
Of course, that means the Ivy League's, although Princeton obviously the odds-on favorite, but a lot of games left in the Ivy League.
And we've got a timeout called by Richie Moran at Cornell. We've talked a little bit about the experience on the sidelines for Moran and Simmons. 56 years coaching between the two of them. 15 final game appearances and 9 national championships for these two gentlemen.
Yep, a lot of gray hair out there. All right, let's look at the poll here. Syracuse at 5th. The key, of course, is, Beth, to get up in that top 4, because then you get yourself a bye. And there's a lot of time left, but, you know, as Coach Simmons has said, sometimes when you don't have real strong teams left on your schedule, that, you know, you can't make that move and you can't make it fast. I think Syracuse can certainly climb back in, but, you know, you're right on the bubble there at 5. You want to make sure that you can get to the 4 and get that easy draw, but may or may not happen.
Well, let's take another listen into Richie Moran, the coach for Cornell, and what keeps him ticking 29 years on the bench.
Usually when a young man puts a Cornell uniform on, that inspires me. Anytime I can have a young man come to school here and get a great education and get an opportunity to go on and do the things that he would like to do in life, whether it be medicine, veterinary medicine, law, business, teaching, communications, anything that they might want to go out to, it's always great to know that they're being successful and that lacrosse might have helped them some way.
And there is Richie Moran.
Nice philosophy.
3 unbeaten seasons for him, including the first NCAA championship team back in '71, and a tremendous '76 team that went 16-0, the first time a team went unbeaten to win the national championship. And we've got about 2,700 on hand tonight to watch this upstate rivalry.
We got a new goalie in too, Jason Golub from Syracuse. Check him out, about 5'3".
He's 5'3". Yost, we saw earlier, was 5'9", 140. So,
yeah,
both teams employing some smaller stature goaltenders.
5'3", 135.
And he's got the ball right now. That means that the body doesn't make a lot of stops. He's got to be awful quick with that
quick
cross.
Stick, yes. I'll tell you one thing. People say, well, how good can he be? If he wasn't any good, he wouldn't be here.
You're right. He's got to cover a lot of space, though. We've got under 2 minutes to play in this one. 16-6 Syracuse. Well, if this holds as such, you've got to consider another stellar performance for the defensive unit for Syracuse. Last game, they held Loyola to 6, and now holding Cornell to 6.
I would say this was a good test. Cornell, obviously, perhaps not up in the top 5 or so, but still, I think it's a good test. Richie Moran always comes prepared to play, and his team does. And when Syracuse could do this defensively, it's good. I don't care who you play, and I think they needed this. And I think they also had a good game out of GEBHARDT. They didn't, but his defense kept him from being challenged constantly. You know, in the Brown game, and they just took shot after shot after shot at him. And of course, the key to the defense is to keep them from getting those kind of shots. And Syracuse also, you saw that graphic there, got beneficiaries early of man-up situations, and they ended up, what, so far 4 for 9, and a lot of penalties for Cornell.
And speaking of penalties, another man-up situation right now for Syracuse. Zorella with the save.
That's a long one.
And look at that, 10 Cornell penalties, 8 minutes all told they had to sit.
That's tough playing a man down that amount of time. Uh-oh. Golub better get ready here. They got somebody open. Oh, ball's down. So, nothing happens badly there. Uh-oh, big stick.
Shooting wide to the left. Backed up though by the Big Red. That's DeLuca on the shot.
You know, you get that big 6-foot stick, you get a heck of a whip on that, and I think you can take a harder shot than you can even some of the shorter sticks.
We've got 1 minute to play in this one. Dennis trying to clear out of there for Syracuse.
Oh, just over the head of, was it number 2?
Jemison.
Yep, Jemison. Ansley Jemison.
There you see Bill Dennis, number 4. Getting some time here for Syracuse tonight with 46 seconds to go in the game.
Matt Zaffarelli, 27, was in. He's out now.
So some playing time for some of the younger Syracuse players.
Future stars.
As the Orangemen will make it 11 in a row now over Cornell, dating back to 1987. And the whistle will go against Abrams with 34 seconds to go.
He's gotten some play. He's had 2 penalties the 2 times I think that he's gotten in. He's a hustler, though. They like him. They think he's going to play a lot of lacrosse. As I said, I think broke his thumb and just coming back, not just now, but early in the season, kept him back, and Abrams going to be down for a minute. So for the rest of the game, Cornell will be man up. Let's see what Golub does, the goalie.
Josh Morgan gets it behind the cage to Wise. Back in front. Golub shot and a score as Golub couldn't make the play on VORIS, and VORIS now with the hat trick. His third goal of the night.
VORIS open right there. That's kind of a turkey shoot. He had a clear shot on Golub. Nice look though, and VORIS with his third goal. He's had a heck of an evening. He gets a little congratulations.
He's got 9 now on the season, does Michael VORIS, and that ties his career high. He scored 3 goals in their last game against Harvard, now 3 here tonight.
Hafner didn't end up the leading scorer coming in. He didn't get one.
He did not score tonight. CAHALANE had a couple, their other big gun. And Campbell able to win the face-off. Flag is down, shot goes wide. And let's see what the call is out top. Looks like it's going to be against Syracuse again.
Another minute. This is one of those ones, let's get this over with and get out of here.
14 seconds left. And that will be on Wilson for 1 minute, but of course that's irrelevant with 14 seconds to play. Illegal body check for those of you scoring at home.
That's right. Yeah, mark that down as an illegal body check. A little high.
10 seconds now to play in this one. Golub able to chase that one over the top on the shot from Dutton.
6 seconds left for Golub.
And the feed in front, Morgan shot goes wide, and that will do it. Syracuse 16, Cornell 7 on a big night for Doug Jackson, the senior from DeWitt, scoring 6 goals. A new career high for Jackson to lead the way for Syracuse. And we will be back to wrap things up from the Carrier Dome right after this. Syracuse 16, Cornell 7. And there is the offensive star of the night for Syracuse, Doug Jackson. 6 goals on the night, 24 on the season, as he was the offensive star for the Orangemen this evening and leading them to the win. But as we talked about early on, Dale, it was the defense really that carried the day. Yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about that because we felt that if the rest of the season they had to kind of set the tone, and I think the defense did an excellent job tonight. The man we happened to pick, Josh RUHLE, I think had an exceptional game. GEBHARDT back on track. So I think they're really doing what they needed to do, and this was a good game for Coach Simmons and his defense. All right, we also wanted to take a moment to say our fond farewells to Larry Kimball, who has announced his retirement, the sports information director at Syracuse, down on the carpet right now, talking with Coach Roy Simmons, and I believe he will finish out the remainder of the calendar school year and into the summer, and then there will be a new sports information director at Syracuse. But a lot of terrific memories for Larry Kimball here at the Carrier Dome over the years. We hope you'll join us again for our next lacrosse telecast. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights will be in town to take on the Orangemen as Syracuse gets the win over Cornell. The final 16-7 over the Big Red as Syracuse improves to 6-2. Cornell now 2-7 on the season. Rutgers and Syracuse Sunday, April 13th at 7 o'clock on Super Sports. Former partner Dale Dryfolcher and our entire Super Sports crew. We'll see you next time in the Carrier Dome. I'm Beth Mowens. Good night.